How's it going, guys? My name is Damien. Welcome back. This is my Arrow episode 5 video. This is one of the most anticipated episodes of the season, and it's mainly due to the fact that John Constantine, his character from his TV show, has been crossed over and introduced into the universe. Warner Brothers was able to work out a deal to bring him over, which is really, really cool, and I actually really, really like the episode. I think Arrow has always needed more things like this, and I commented on it before with Damien Dark and the introduction of Ra's al Ghul and so on. And he is a really nice addition. The way they introduced him is also really, really great. Flashbacks on the island. He's there looking for a very important artifact for his collection, and it's interesting to see Oliver's reactions to when he does something. The scenes between them, he actually had a lot of scenes on this episode, and I think they really were trying to drive home the point that this is a character that this is a huge deal, and they dedicated a lot of screen time to him because normally you don't really have this, but through flashbacks and through the present day scenes, there were quite a lot of scenes, and it really centered around the fact that they were bringing Sarah, getting her soul back, and that was the main theme of the episode. It starts out like any other episode where you save the important stuff for the end, but they introduced him pretty quickly and they had a great setup for him. Now, the only thing I can say that they didn't really accomplish, as the viewer, you get a lot more backstory on him because you're seeing the flashback, so you kind of get that introduction. And for the present day, the other characters present there with Oliver, because Oliver is he calls in a favor with John Constantine, and he knows how to bring Sarah's soul back. So the only difference there, the only thing I can really critique is that the supporting cast of characters around Oliver and John Constantine and so on, they really, in character, would not really know who this guy is, and they could kind of feel lost. But that's just something that they just kind of brought him in. Oliver brought him in, rather, and they would get filled in after he leaves. But as the viewer, you get the complete picture for the most part. You have more of an idea of who he is. So I really enjoyed his scenes, though, and I hadn't watched Constantine because I heard there was a lot of rumors of it being canceled pretty early on into the show, so I just never watched it. But the fact that he was crossed over and he delivered what I believe was a pretty convincing performance. He looked the part, he played the part well. It makes me wonder why the show was actually canceled, so I might actually just watch at least one or two episodes, the pilot and the episode after that, and just see what the quality is like. But overall, the episode was great. It actually also had a lot of main scenes between Oliver and Laurel, and they haven't done that in quite a while. And they really kind of talked about some things, aired some things out, and were able to, I guess, come even closer than they have been in a long time, seeing each other as equals now, because maybe what Laurel did say that he's never seen her as an equal, and they've always had secrets from each other and never really communicated well. So this is something that they established in this episode, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked that there wasn't really a lot of Felicity moments. It was really just about Laurel, because she was actually the anchor of the entire episode, because it was her choice to bring Sarah back, and she has to deal with the consequences. Interesting, though, I really would wonder how they'll handle it, and I want to see if they're going to acknowledge in the episodes moving forward, because Sarah did kill a few people, and I'm really wondering how they're going to address that, because obviously her father he knows that she's the one doing it, so it's not like he's going to be arresting her. So it'll be interesting to see how they really decide, or if they acknowledge her crimes and things like that. Obviously, it's just a TV show, so they'll probably just kind of sweep over it pretty quickly. But that would be interesting if they did that. The scenes were just really, really great. It was one of the best Arrow episodes, and John Constantine, I hope he makes another appearance. Obviously, by the way the episode ends, they leave it open to interpretation to the point where he can possibly come back. Maybe in one of the crossovers down the line. I would also like if the Flash could meet him. That would be interesting to see his reaction. I always look for the crossover stuff. It's great, and they should definitely cross more characters into the universe. But yeah, all in all, a pretty solid episode. the character is just dealing with the fact that Sarah is back and acknowledging life after death and bringing someone's soul back and magic and all of this other stuff. This is where the universe needs to expand. And I always like that Diggle is the one that comments. He always makes the first comment. Like he says, he was just trying to get his head wrapped around the idea of metahumans. And I remember at one point when Oliver in season 2 talked about the Mirakuru that was making these super soldiers, he was having a hard time believing that, and he said, what's next? Aliens. And a lot of people took that as a reference to the Superman character in that sense. But yeah, Diggle is always the one to make the comment about it, and he was always the guy to make the funny comments when the Flash had the first crossover and he was super speeding around. So yeah, always let me know what you guys thought about the episode. The Oliver and Felicity moments, not really many in this episode, 1 or 2, but core value of the episode is really what you can take away from it. There was a good balance of screen time. The flashbacks were actually good, and that's only because of John Constantine. I mentioned in my last review for Arrow that I really don't enjoy the flashbacks. I think it takes away a lot. That even though it's providing that great backstory to Oliver's life prior to coming back and becoming the Green Arrow, it still holds the show back because you're looking at a roughly 7 minutes or more that are dedicated to flashbacks. Give or take, you're still losing ample screen time that the Flash would gain and be able to flesh out more characters or have another scene. Like if you really look at the two shows and you see the progress the Flash has made, it always feels like they're running at a much higher pace, and that's really because they're able to move more story content because of the time that they have. Arrow is moving story content in 2 different ways. You see, it's moving the flashbacks so you understand his life prior, but realistically that doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect anything that's happening in the present. So that's where you have that issue where you're giving up 7 to 10 minutes of screen time or whatever the case may be to something that really doesn't hold any value to what is really going on in the present day. And I don't know how much longer they're going to do the flashbacks, but tonight's episode, I really liked the flashbacks. They were good. They were really, really good. So yeah, I guess that is all. I also enjoyed the scene, of course, with Damien Dark. I think Neil McDonough is great, and they should definitely have more scenes with him. Obviously, John Constantine acknowledging him, that was great. He's fully aware of the guy, and he says, leave town. That's the best advice he can give. But we'll see just what will happen in the future, because we're coming up to the mid-season finale. These episodes are going by pretty quickly, actually. And about episode 9 is going to be the mid-season finale for both The Flash and Arrow. So let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Did you watch Constantine? If you did, let me know how the show is. Leave your thoughts and opinions about his crossover and what you thought about it. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I give the episode a 9 out of 10. It was solid all in all. Great scenes by Laurel. Always great scenes by Oliver. And a great supporting cast. And of course, before I go, I didn't even touch on the fact that Ray Palmer is alive. But that's not really a surprise. Obviously, everybody knew he wasn't going to die. And he has his own show coming up. It's the same issue with Sarah. So you knew she was going to come back at some point, and you know he's going to come back at some point. But that was the cliffhanger for the end of the episode, even though everyone's already aware. I guess not everyone, but you guys know what I mean. So leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and share your thoughts and opinions. As always, I will see you guys here tomorrow night for another video. Thank you for watching. My name is Damien, and check out my other 2 videos at the end.